Hey, what's going on? It is Saturday morning. Welcome, everybody.
Good morning.
Hey. So we are excited about today, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
so excited.
Yeah, the first edition of Saturday Be Live. And so I think we have a great Saturday lined up for you guys. And first of all, I want to thank those that's going to jump on live. Thank you for tuning in. Really means a lot. I know you can be anywhere else, and I know some of you may not tune in right away. You know, you may still be rolling over or something. But
Taking
I know
advantage of your Saturdays
Yeah,
like we are, because you don't have to
absolutely.
work or get up
Yeah.
early.
Saturday is one of my favorite days of the week. You
Yes.
don't work, you get an extra hour of sleep, so we're excited about it, and so we're grateful for
Good
you guys
morning.
tuning in. Yeah, good morning. And so I think you guys are going to enjoy today, right?
Yeah, so you may see us looking back and forth. We're here on Instagram and Facebook. So if
Yeah.
you don't follow us on both, make sure you follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.
Yep.
And subscribe to our YouTube page as well.
Yeah, so we got a lot planned for you guys, and we got a lot available for you. So we're gonna give some of you time to get on. Go on and share it. So before we kind of get going, we're gonna share it on our personal ones. I think it helps invite people to watch it, right? So we're gonna do that now before we kind of kick off this day. So if you tune in, thank you guys again for tuning in. And I have a terrible habit of not looking at the camera and looking at myself. So if I'm looking off in La La Land, I'm working on that. So are you sharing it or inviting
Yeah, I'm
them?
sharing it.
Yeah, so cool. Welcome. And like I said, I know a lot of you will be tuning in a little bit later as we get going. So we're going to kind of slow walk it the first few minutes, give people a chance to kind of click on, or especially if they want. So we're going to give them an opportunity to do just that. So what she's doing now is just simply sharing it from our personal account to invite others to kind of get on. So what are you up to, this Saturday? So
I'll make sure I did that right.
make sure you do it right. And also, hey, if you at work, God bless you anyway.
Yes, be encouraged.
Yeah, be encouraged. Don't be jealous. Don't be salty, because everybody else is at home. Go get that money. Go do what you got to do.
That's right.
But do not let your boss catch you on the phone checking
Right.
us out.
Right.
Yep, because we will not send you a check to cover your firing.
Right.
Yeah, so we're almost ready, and then we're going to kind of kick this day off like we got planned. So stick with us. How's it going?
I don't see it so far.
Okay, that's cool.
Hope I did it right.
Yeah, well, it's cool either way. So which one are you doing now?
Inviting from my page.
Okay, well, that's cool. That's cool enough. That's good enough.
Okay.
Yep. All right, cool. Let's get rolling. So first off, we want to kind of talk a little bit about us. And so those that kind of watch this later, you may already know of some of you, and then some of you may not. Our first video episode that we put out, I think we have about close to 3,000 viewers, and I don't even know 3,000 people. I barely know 300, and I barely talk to 30. So I'm saying that to say we may have a lot of people that don't know us that will check this out later. So we want to give you a little bit about us and about the tour and all of that. So first off, I'm Clarence Carter, and this is my beautiful and lovely, fine, hot, sexy
Lakeeta
wife.
Carter.
Okay.
And we've been married for about 13 years.
Yeah.
And we have 4 wonderful children. And
How old are our children? None of their business, or?
18, 13, 11, and
18,
4.
13, 11, and 4. So we've had our share of little gremlins. So
Tell me to be encouraged.
Right. She's a great mom, So just to give you a little bit about the B Tour and how this thing ultimately came about, you want to tell them a little bit?
Yeah, we started the B Tour, got this idea in the beginning of the year. So we took some time to establish and really think about our goals and what we really wanted to do as far as this tour. It was birthed out of our heart to just want to encourage and help people.
Yeah.
Every day, I don't want to say random, but everyday people.
Listen, it's so much going on in the world today. I mean, so much negativity, so many obstacles and trials and tribulations and ups and downs. We wanted to create something that would ultimately encourage and build people up, and we believe this was heaven sent, and we believe that it is going to bless and help a lot of people, right?
Yeah, it's always a blessing when you can take yourself out of the center and put someone else before you and serve them. And that's what this tour is all about. And we're hoping to get our children involved and other team members involved to help us be a blessing to so many other people that need and desire. That's what our slogan is.
Yeah, it's to
encourage,
to inspire, to meet needs and desires. That's our ultimate goal, and that's what we're shooting for. Now, ultimately, the main part of what we do is to go out. If you go to our Facebook page, our Instagram page, all of our pages, and even our website, you'll see our first episode. Now, that's the heart of what this tour is ultimately all about, but we want to give you other ways to be encouraged, and that's what this video is ultimately about every Saturday at 9. So today is going to be a little bit different. This is the first one, so we want to do a lot of explaining and talking like this. We won't just jump right into the topic of today, but we're going to get to that topic of the day real soon, and so what you can expect is, you never know what to expect, really. We may be in the grocery store, we may be at the gas station giving people gas, we may be at the hospital visiting someone, we may be helping the elderly. Whatever it is, we're going to be out encouraging and inspiring and meeting some needs and desires, right?
That's right.
Yeah, so our topic for today, it's going to be forward thinking. But before we get to that, we do have a segment called You Ask, We Answer. And that's when you guys can email us at contact@thebtour, contact@thebtour. You email us .com. And you email us whatever question you want us to answer, and then on Saturday we'll try our best to get to all of them, or one of them, or two of them. So go to contact@thebtour.com.
And we want you to ask us about anything. It doesn't have to be about encouragement or business or anything. It could just be about any kind of question you got about anything.
Yeah, absolutely.
Email us.
And so I have a question here, and we're going to start off answering this question. And so here's a question concerning relationships. And so I'm about to get married. What advice can you give me to help have a long-lasting relationship like you have? Whoa. And so that's a whole segment in itself. I'm not going to say the person's name, but you can give us permission to do that, and I would love to give you a shout out for your question on that particular Saturday. So that is a mouthful, it's a handful. But I'll say this, we could talk about this the whole time, but I'll say this, because you use the words, we're getting ready to get married, and you want to start off successful, you have to start off and you have to build a foundation as to what your marriage is going to ultimately be, what's the word I'm looking for? It's going to be set on. It's going to be built on. And so we did that early. We got counseling early, and we got a plan early on. Pastor Reginald Willis from Philemon, he married us.
Hey,
and he gave us just great foundation, great insight, and just great direction as to how we should set up our marriage and how we can be successful in that. And so so I'll give you that. I'll tell you that foundation is key to a great marriage, especially when you get going, because storms gonna come, arguments gonna come, disagreements gonna come. You're gonna feel like you don't want to do it no more at certain times.
Yes.
and so the foundation has to be right.
Absolutely.
So when that storm comes, that you guys will still be standing. So it's been a great 13 years for us, right?
Yeah. Your why has to be intact. You have to remember why you got together, why you got married, and the purpose behind your marriage. And of course, you have to have your standard pillars of marriage, which is trust and communication and respect and love, of course. And so those things are very important. It's almost like the glue that's going to keep everything together, And so communication, I think, is just a really big one, because you can't walk in harmony if you don't talk enough or talk deeply enough, you know, because you can easily just remain on the surface. But I think we're most connected because we have discussions on a deep level, and it's okay to be naked and unashamed with your spouse.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I think
an engagement period is a good time to do that.
Oh yeah.
So you can know what you're getting into before you actually get in it.
Yeah, and you can do that without getting in the bed to figure all that out, you know, because when it come down to it, you know, when it come down to it, you know, getting in the bed, you know, that's the easy part, you know. It's the other stuff that's going to take you out. If you notice, nobody argue over the bedroom, because both is very happy normally with it. You know, it's the other stuff that throws people's relationship off. So that's the other stuff is the stuff that you ultimately want to begin to practice and work on, you know, and communication is one of those. So listen, I hope that helped you, and I hope that helped others that ultimately, you know, that's out there watching. Okay, so we're going to move on from that. That's our You Ask, We Answer segment, and then we're going to give them a B tip of the day. Now, the B tip ultimately is, we believe that as you guys freely receive all of this encouragement that we got going on, we ultimately believe that you should freely give it to someone else. So we're going to give you tips on how to do that every Saturday. So 1 tip per Saturday. So this particular tip, you want to tell them about it? About the compliment? You sure? All right.
No, the B tip of the day. That's what we call it.
B tip
of the day. We want you to encourage somebody. We want you to compliment somebody.
Everybody you come in contact with over the next few days, right?
So that could be the person who's ringing you out at the store, to the person in the drive-through. If you like their attitude, if you like their necklace, if you you know, their smile, or some way you can just give a compliment to somebody. You never know what somebody may be going through or how they may be feeling in themselves, and a compliment like that could kind of make them pick their heads up a little bit. It matters.
Yeah. Now look, don't reserve your compliments for just the fine people you like. And so the tall, dark, strong-looking, handsome guy, or the nice-shaped woman. Don't reserve all your compliments for them. Whoever you come in contact with, we want you to encourage them. You know, their smile, encourage you. I like what you got on. I like your glasses. You never know how that can impact somebody's life. So that's the B tip of the day. The B tip of the day. So encourage somebody. It is so necessary, right?
Definitely.
Yeah, it's definitely necessary. So with that being said, we kind of won't take up too much time, because I don't know how much time we actually have left. So let's kind of get in. You want to go ahead and get into it, or we want to talk about something else real quick?
No, we good. Our topic for today is forward thinking.
Yes, forward thinking. And so we're going to talk about that. Listen, direction, it plays a big part in describing things like your mood or a feeling or an idea. You know, you've heard of things like go left, you know, a person, she's going left, you know, or
do right,
or under the weather, or under attack, or keep your head up, or look up. Notice that the direction, whether it's left or right or up or down, you know, notice that helps to describe a particular mood, or it helps to ultimately drive home a point. So forward thinking is going to help us to drive home a particular point for you guys on today. So life, whether you know it or not, it's like a race, and so we're all trying to cross the finish line, right? Yeah, we're all trying to cross the finish line, which represents victory. Yeah, you cross that line, it represents victory. Now let's be clear, we all want a victorious, successful, accomplishing, just, you know, we are looking and we're all pursuing that kind of life, right?
Definitely, absolutely.
Yeah, we're all pursuing that kind of life, and so the key to success, or crossing that finish line, or getting to this place of victory, it's ultimately going to be predicated upon your ability to keep moving forward in that race, and not be distracted by the million things that set on your particular race to be a distraction.
Sorry, and you're not racing other people, you know, in this race. So when you think of a race, you think of competitors, but don't think of other people in those lanes. You're not racing against anyone.
Right,
you're racing against yourself. You're racing against your own negative mindset or your positive mindset. You know, so that's why we want to tell you to think forward, because really, if you're not thinking forward, you're thinking backward, and that's who your competition is. It's the other side of you who's trying to pull you back and to hold you back from that goal of what you set for yourself.
Yeah, your fight is not against, you know, your neighbor, your brother, your friend, your job, your boss. You know,
comparison.
You know how we say stuff like, they made me mad, this happened, that happened, and all of that. No, it's with you. Your success or failure will be predicated upon your ability to stay focused during this race. There are people, a race called, I think they're hurdlers, right? Where they run and jump over the hurdle. They run, they jump over the hurdle. You know, I've come to find out that the hurdle is not even what they focus on. You know, it's the finish line. Like, if you watch the race, they don't pay attention to the hurdle. They have a feel for the race, and they keep their eyes toward the finish line. And it's something about how they practice. They automatically know the hurdle is there every several feet, and then they just jump right over it, you know. And that's kind of how life is, you know. Soon as you get your feet settled, soon as you get your feet planted, soon as things start to go good, money is right, friends is right, children is right, husband is right, marriage is right, things are right, peace is right, joy is right, and then boom.
Hurdle.
Here come a hurdle. Good God. And I know you guys know what we're talking about, man. I mean, it's just like, soon as you get things right, it seems like something else negative kind of comes in.
But I love what you said, because you said that the hurdler knows it's there.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, come on, just think. You can't prevent all of trials and tribulations from you can't prevent hard things from happening. It's part of life, so you know it's coming. So it's not so much preventing everything, because you won't be able to prevent everything, you know. But it's about, okay, I know this is coming. How am I going to plan to overcome these obstacles, these distractions, or these things, these hurdles that may come up, that will come up, and try to stop me from my ultimate goal? And that's what we want to talk to you about today.
Yeah, and you can't avoid it. You can't avoid life, right?
Right.
You can't get away from it. It is what it is. Notice, no matter how good you are, no matter how much you're on your best behavior, you can do everything right, read all the books, you can say everything right. It doesn't matter. Life is going to hit you one way or another, which I've come to the conclusion that it has nothing to do with avoiding these things, but it's how I can persevere through these things when they show up and when they pop up. And so we want you guys to persevere through these things, and one of the ways you do that is to avoid distractions and focus ultimately on your finish line. Now, here's a question for you. What does your finish line, if the key is to focus on the finish line, which represents victory, what's your finish line look like? You know, what does it look like at the end of the day? You know, I've said this before, that I have to identify that. Now, listen, I can't set the thermostat if I haven't identified how hot it is in the house. If I don't know it's hot, then I don't know to turn the thermostat down. If I don't know it's cold, then I don't know to turn the thermostat up. And if you don't know what your goal and what your purpose in life is and what you're after, then you really won't know how to set your mind to this forward thinking that we're ultimately talking about. And so you have to be purpose driven. You have to be goal oriented. You have to have something that you are pursuing
towards. Absolutely. And no one can answer that question for you.
We can't.
You have to sit down for yourself, quiet yourself, get in front of God. Yes, we're God people if you don't know us. And so and so you have to really figure out, or have that be revealed to you, what's my purpose? What is my goal? What am I reaching towards? And don't let it be because society says this is what you should go for, or your parents said this is what you should do and this is what your goal should be. No, you have to answer that. You have to figure that out, because you can't focus on what you don't identify.
That's good.
You have to identify it first in order to be able to zero in on it, you know, but no one can answer that for you. That's a question that only you can answer.
Yeah, and listen to this, and I want to add this. We can't answer that for you. We don't know what your goal and your aspirations and your visions and what you're after. We don't know that. But what we can say is think big.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, think big. I mean, whatever goal you set, think big. Don't
Yeah.
just settle for what society puts in front of you. Society says success and victory is a nice car, a decent house, some money in your pocket, you know, and they stop there. But how many people have heard of rich people losing their mind, killing themselves, or being unhappy? So that can't be the key to happiness, success, and victory, you know, just a few things you get. Because, you know, I think thinking big, you know, to do that, you kind of got, well, let's talk about identifying the goals, you know, because that has to be step number one, right?
Yeah, that's
you
step
have to
one.
identify what is my goal as it relates to life. What am I after? You know, what is my goal? What am I after? You have to kind of first ask yourself, you know, why? You know, and when I say why, I mean, let's just say if you set your goal to be a car. Well, why do you want the car? You know, and then once you answer that question, ask yourself another question. You know, well, I want the car because I want to look a particular way when I go places. Why? You know, and then once you get to that, you ask another question as to why. So whatever goal you set, you got to keep asking why till you can't go any further. You know, till you can't go any further. Well, I want a nice house. Why? You know what I mean? And so I want to be happy. Why? You know, there has to be the why question has to be answered. And if you can answer that why question, you'll get to a particular point, you know, where there's no more whys to ask. And when that happens, then you know you're probably really close to setting your goal.
Yeah.
And so here's another one before we kind of move on. You know, you have to consider, you know, if it didn't bring me fame or money, would I still be interested? You know, because normally if you are, that's probably a goal closer to your heart and not just a goal that man gave you or that society gave you. You know, if the fame didn't matter, if the money didn't matter, yet you still would pursue it and operate in that thing with great joy and happiness, then you probably know you're really, really close to setting a particular goal in your life. That's closer to your heart. That's a passion, right?
Yeah, I heard somebody say, what would you do for free? Like you love to do this and you would do it for free just because you love it.
Yeah, absolutely. Someone asked me that question about a couple of ideas I had, and they said, would you do it if you know, if no one ever paid you? And I said, hecky no, I wouldn't do it. So I automatically knew that wasn't it.
I said yes.
And so I had a couple of ideas I had to scratch because I just knew, like, I'm only doing it for the money, you know, and I knew that wasn't attached to my heart,
right,
that I was looking to ultimately get something out of that, you know what I mean? So so number one, you got to identify your goal.
You got a question?
Got a question? What's the question?
Can you set goals and think big in sections?
Yeah, you can set your goal and think big in sections. Life is just too big and too wide and too much going on to kind of bite off the whole thing in one chunk. You know, it's one day at a time, one step at a time, you know, but you have to keep looking forward. You know, as long as your eyes is set ahead of you, then you can take it in those little bitty baby steps, right? You can take it in those little bitty baby steps. So absolutely, you can do it in chunks, just as long as you're looking forward, not behind you, not to the side of you, and not to the distractions that life sometimes ultimately presents. Sometimes you have to do it step by step or in chunks like that because it can get overwhelming. If you don't have if you're not a big vision, big thinker, you know, then you have to do it step by step and bit by bit, right?
You definitely have to break it down, and then you have to celebrate those small steps. I mean, you really do. When you come to one of those small hurdle, and it's like, oh, I got over this. I did this. Let me pat my. It's okay to pat yourself on the back and celebrate yourself when you break it down, like how you're saying, you break it down and then you see that you actually overcame something, or you were able to not pay attention to the distractions that's trying to get you off from your goal. That's something to celebrate. And those kind of celebratory things and those victories will further move you forward because you'll be motivated, like, oh, I'm rolling good over these hurdles. So yes, definitely you can break those things down and celebrate yourself along the way.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're running out of time, babe.
Yeah, we are kind of running out of time. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of move forward a little bit.
Let's move forward.
Try to get through some of this,
6 minutes.
And so so the first thing is identify your goals. You got to know what it is that you're after. 2, you have to set your mind. Now, your mind is a part of your soul. Your soul is a part of your being. And so your goal has to become a part of you. So once you identify what it is that you're after, it has to become a part of you. You can't come secondary. You got to figure out a way to prioritize that thing. And one way you can do that is just meditate on it and really think about that thing all the time, talk about that thing all the time.
That's right.
You know, pray about that thing all the time. Whatever it is, you gotta. You have to eat it, sleep it, breathe it. It has to become a part of you every single day. You think on it long enough, it becomes a part of you, right?
Right, absolutely.
Yeah. You think on it long enough, it ultimately becomes a part of you.
That word meditate means to mull it over, chew on it over and over again. You know, like a cow keep that food in his jaw right there, and he just keep chewing and chewing and chewing. That's that meditation. It's always there. It's always on your mind. Not overtaking your life, but you have a sense of, okay, this is my overall goal for my life.
Yeah, don't wait till you get there to start wanting to think about it and make it priority. Nah, you got to have that thing on your mind.
Talk to other people about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, even with that, you got to be careful, because some people won't encourage you to keep going. Some will just look at you like, man, I don't know if you can do that. You know, they'll be hating on you. So you want to make sure it's a confidant that you ultimately believe in, that's going to help you move forward and not throw you off or throw you backwards. So number 2, set your mind. Number 3 is ultimately inventory. Now you have to ultimately take inventory, which means you have to look at your life and you have to figure out or find out what's not going in the same direction as what your mind is set on and what your goals are.
Yes, you talk about you want to lose weight, but you got ice cream and chocolate chip cookies in the... you got
absolutely.
That's inventory, right?
Yeah.
Get them chocolate chip cookies out of there.
Yeah, you know,
that's not going to help you lose weight. That's not going to help you get to your goal. And so we're talking about inventory. You know, you purge things. You have to purge things. You have to get rid of things. You have to get rid of some negative conversations, some negative thoughts. If you really going to move forward, think forward, you're going to have to get rid of some of that stuff.
Well, since we're on that note, listen, I'm talking about losing weight, right? Like, I want to get rid of this gut, but I'm saying it while I'm eating Dunkin' Donut. You know, I need to lose this weight and lose this stomach. And what I'm saying is, I got to take inventory and ultimately figure out and say, like, hey, okay, I can't do this.
That's not helping you.
I can't do this. This ain't helping me. I got to get rid of it. And it's not a weight thing. Whatever it is that's in your life that's not moving in the direction of what you want, you got to get rid of it. If you're trying to save money, well, spending more of it is not going to help you. You got to take inventory over how much you're spending. So inventory is key no matter what the scenario or situation. Find out what's not right for where you're headed in life, including people. So the last one before we come real close to wrapping this thing up is the adjustment period. You know, you can't just take inventory, then get rid of everything all at once. You got to take it one day at a time, you know, and it took you 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 15 years, 10 years to be how you are right now. It's going to take a little while to kind of unravel the life that you've built and kind of dismantle it to line up with your new direction in life, you know. So don't get frustrated. Just one day at a time. Your goal is to purge those things that's going to weigh you down or keep you down, so that you can ultimately move forward. And that is an adjustment, and that ultimately is going to take some time, but it's one day at a time. Listen, we are out of time, as a matter of fact. We hope you guys enjoyed this Saturday Be Live. We have more to come. Listen, we're going to have things like special guests on some Saturdays. Man, it's just going to be thebomb.com. So make sure you guys tune in every Saturday at 9 a.m. We definitely look forward to it.
And share it. And tell your friends and your followers, you know, to come check us out, so that you can just be encouraged. There's no better way to just really start every day, not just Saturday, but start every day with some positivity and some encouragement. And so follow us on all of our, did you say that already?
Say it again. Say it
follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook,
at the
YouTube
B Tour,
page,
at the B Tour,
at the B Tour.
Everything is at the B Tour. Follow us, connect with us, like us, all that other kind of stuff. Listen, this thing is growing rapidly. We are affecting a lot of people, and we're going to continue to do so, especially with you guys' help. Also, go to the website www.thebtour.com. www.thebtour.com. You can get a lot of things on there, encouragement. You can check our blog out. You can catch the episodes if you missed it. Go there and check all that out about us. Everything is right there. How to contact us is right there. And don't forget, send in your questions contact at thebeachtour.com so
Send in
that we
those
can
questions.
answer it on next week. And so with that being said, I think that's it. Are we got one more minute. Are we missing something? Yeah. And so
Saturdays be live.
Saturdays be live. All right, you guys. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.